Hey everyone, welcome to the show. So, I have news about a man that's been arrested for starting that horrific fire that just kicked off everything in Los Angeles earlier this year. You will remember, of course, because a huge portion of Los Angeles County burned down. The fire that he started in particular ended with 12 people dying, 12 California residents losing their lives. There were nearly or over, I think, 7,000 homes and businesses destroyed. So this is the man who has been arrested right here. This is 29-year-old, now Florida man, Jonathan Rinderknecht, I think is how you pronounce it. So apparently, Rinderknecht lived in the Pacific Palisades at one time. Not sure of the timing of when he moved, but what they're saying is he was apparently an Uber driver at the time of this fire. He drove several people that night, which was New Year's Eve night. And two of his passengers that night, two separate passengers, not two that traveled together, but two separate passengers told investigators that Rinderknecht seemed, as they put it, quote, agitated and angry. That was in the charging documents. So apparently he dropped off his last passenger, returned to Pacific Palisades near where he was living or where he used to live. So this is after his last shift. Again, this was on New Year's Eve of last year, 2024, but the fire that he started was after midnight. So it was on January 1st of 2025. So apparently, Rinderknecht was interviewed. He was interviewed on January 24th. The authorities say now that he lied about his location that night because Rinderknecht claimed that he was at the bottom of the hiking trail when he saw the fire and he called it in. So the investigators, what they did was they used his geolocation data from that 911 call, and it showed that he was not at the bottom of the hill at that time. He was standing above the fire, and they said he was in a clearing that was about 30 feet away from the blaze. Now, what they found out since is that months prior to the fire, Rinderknecht used AI to create an image, and they described this image as a, quote, dystopian painting showing in part a burning forest and a crowd fleeing from it. So this guy was apparently very, preoccupied and obsessed with fires. Also, according to the Justice Department filing, on the night of the fire, on the night that it was lit, quote, after dropping off a passenger in Pacific Palisades, Rinderknecht, who once lived in that neighborhood, drove towards Skull Rock Trailhead, parked his car, attempted to contact a former friend, and walked up the trail. He then used his iPhone to take videos at a nearby hilltop area and listened to a rap song to which he had listened repeatedly in previous days, whose music video included things being lit on fire. So he apparently just repeatedly watched this video. And like I said, the guy was obsessed with fires. Apparently, he also was taking videos of himself, like with the fire in the background, and then he was recording as he was coming down the hill, allegedly after he started this fire. And in the video that he was recording, he's typing into Google, can you get in trouble for starting a fire with a cigarette? So I don't know if that was to throw off the scent, like to create an alibi, like, oh gosh, I just accidentally dropped a cigarette. I don't know if maybe he did set the fire with a cigarette and then he was worried he was going to get busted. I'm sure more will come out. But Rinderknecht now has been arrested. He has been charged with destruction of property by means of fire. I would imagine there are going to be more charges coming because, like I said, the destruction from what he did, allegedly, is unfathomable. So if he is convicted, even with just this charge, he faces a mandatory minimum of 5 years in prison and up to 20 years. The reason that this is a federal case, by the way, is because the fire that he allegedly started was started on land that's owned by a group called Mountains Recreation and Conservation Authority, MRCA. So that group, that organization receives federal funding. And then also they said the fire eventually did burn federal property. So that's why it is not a state case. That's why it's a federal case, which, bigger deal. I would imagine that California will probably also file charges. No word yet on that, but I'll let you know. So there you go, guys. Of course, everybody has been curious, who is this guy? He's in Florida now. Is he a Trump supporter? They're saying, I heard from another podcaster today that he gave $2 to Joe Biden or something, like $1 at one point and then another dollar at another point. I'll have to look into the details, but I don't know. Seems very odd that someone would move from California to Florida and not be MAGA, not be on the right. Like, why? Why? As someone who has lived in California my entire life, you could not pay me to move to Florida. And I'm sorry. I know there are a lot of good people there. There are a lot of, Democrats and allies in the state. Nothing personal, but that humidity, the giant bugs, the humidity where you look like Cousin It after you've spent an hour doing your hair and you're soaking wet just walking down the street. No, thank you. I will keep the sunshine and the beaches here in California and no humidity. So anyway, thank you all so much for watching and listening. Again, when I hear more, I will keep you updated on this. So love you all. Please please share and subscribe if you have not already. Please donate if you possibly can. Talk with you soon.